It is ready.
Okay, welcome to the May 2nd Delaware County Conservation District meeting. We do not have a quorum, so we cannot approve the minutes. That'll call us to order. And I guess there are no audience comments either that have come to you, right, Ed?
Thanks, Robin, right here.
I was gonna say, but
They were solid.
Wait a minute. Ready to- Okay, well, is that all right? I can just continue?
yes, I'm sorry.
I don't need to. Okay, no audience comments, I
No, there was none. Came in.
posted and everything, right? All righty. Any announcements about the PACD monthly report, anything that we should pay attention to?
No, nothing in the report about letting us know that they are working for us and doing a very good job.
Oh, okay, good. We're hoping. Ready, well. Into this motion request for bank statements. And do this one for.
Emergency review.
Please. And do the one for approval of the check for the.
We can do the one for the approval of the check because we had seen that in a prior meeting.
Other one for the $19,000.
That's correct.
Okay, so. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve this motion.
But for the UTV,
Yes, to reimburse the account for that.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, thanks.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Right.
Right,
For the emergency request, if you say something, doesn't have to wait another month for us to.
We just have to acknowledge that we're accepting it, to stay in compliance with State Conservation Commission policy.
They can, they can still move ahead on the expedited schedule.
Yes. There you go.
all right. And the next one also, the approval of check for 500, and you're going to have to wait to get reimbursed?
Yeah, that's okay. We'll figure that one out. Basically, what happened is when we got the trailer, one of the things that would have been nice to have was a toolbox in the front so we could put the straps in so they don't get lost when they're not on the trailer. So we had a toolbox mounted to the tongue. And they also agreed to mount a spare tire. We had to pay for the spare tire. And I needed straps and wheel chocks, so I got that and it came out just over my ability to pay, so I had to put it on my credit card.
Oh,
Both will be okay.
okay. Oh, you could have. Okay, the next one was for office workstations. Too bad, Michelle, you have to wait for that too.
Yeah, she's not anxious to move, Jess. There's a lot of work to be done in the back meeting room. We used the back meeting room. And due to the pandemic and our use of the teams, I think the need for the meeting room is not as valuable now. Plus, it gives us some flexibility for planning moving forward for additional staff, or at least for the intern, and giving Michelle a place to work back there. And as you know, we have put in the heating and air conditioning
Right.
unit in there. So the room is much better climate controlled than some of the other rooms in the building.
Right.
So at the furniture, I did have it approved by purchasing department, and that is the CoStar price, and they were okay with it.
Okay, now we can talk maybe about old business, the UTV purchase update, the trailer, et cetera. You just kind of gave us the quick skinny on that.
Yep, we did get everything purchased. It is setting down in the red barn down there, and Mark has the staff has the ability to use it. I did notify John Deal from the Park Police because they wanted to look at one, buying two of them in the future. So he wanted to, so they can come out and take a look at it. The trailer, the only thing I need to do is get the graphics on it, and that's taking a little delay getting the contractor to come out and take a look at where they can put Delaware County and make the county seal on it.
Right.
So we don't want to be driving around in county parks and People think that
I
somebody
think you're
took
just
precedence.
wallowing now
Yeah.
there.
So that'll be good. And so it seemed to be working well. The trailer was what we expected. And it fits, hopefully it fits. We haven't mounted it yet, so we haven't put it on the trailer yet,
Right.
but we measured it and it should fit. So that's working on it good too. And it's an aluminum trailer, so it should have a long lifespan and can be used by the parks and for other things as well.
Relatively lightweight for gas too, I think.
Yes, it's the trailer itself. In fact, we can use the trailer's 525 pounds. So if we were working on a project with posts and fencing, we could actually use the trailer and pull it by the UTV to help with repairing buffer projects and stuff.
Good job. Okay, next, scanning permit files and electronic permit submission proposal. So what's up with that?
Yeah, this is we've got it on the county council agenda today for action. It'll be voted on tonight, right?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Okay.
So we have to go out. We did present it. We're working with IMR Digital and they gave us a contract price of $58,847. There's two other portions to this that we are going to handle that one involves the software. We need to have 4 licensing fees. That'll be an ongoing expense, but that's just around less than $5,000. And then they're going to also, for less than $5,000, do the second half of this that I wanted to do is be able to accept electronic submissions. So this will be they'll set up a format so the outside people can access this software to submit their plans electronically, and then we can review them. And not have any paper. The only thing we'll do after that point is that we'll probably need to have some tablets or something for the field staff to be able to take to the field.
Right.
So we're working on that with John Beck and IT preliminary at this point. It's a good project, and if you look around this office, and you've seen coming in the paperwork there. I've always been worried about. Well, first I worried about Michelle being crushed in her office, and then I look at the fire hazard, and also this building is not meant for that type of weight. So it'd be nice to get the weight off the floor so that any of the sinking or cracking walls in there, you can see that it occurred, will be reduced.
So we're getting there.
And then
Lighting,
Councilman
that's a big-
Ruther mentioned at the meeting today, no, it was kind of Joanne Phillips mentioned, the controller about the idea that we were compliance with record management. Yes, this is similar to the files that Chester County has already been doing. They've been doing electronic since the pandemic started. And the DEP central office was okay with them putting it into a format and keep transferring the closed out files, which are the NOTs that are acknowledged. Once we close them out, we can use the software to download exactly those projects and forward them on to DEP without renting a moving van. The last 2 times we did it with 50 boxes of stuff taken up there, and they were not very happy with it. So this will make it easier on them,
Right.
but they will accept that file.
So that's good. You're laying the groundwork, huh? Everything's gonna be smooth eventually.
It'll look a lot nicer to the people that are using the office when they want to go through that.
Right.
It looks like, so it does look tacky there with all those boxes.
Okay, so next up is the Christmas tree revetment project. I love the pictures.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's really great.
Yeah.
I keep trying to forward them on when you, so that, you know, other people. can
Oh,
see
good.
it, right?
Thank you.
It's really-
So the revetment took place in March. We worked with the Parks Department to install Christmas trees in Glen Providence Park again, along the eroding stream bank there. Last year, we worked with students from Media Providence Friends School to install live stakes farther upstream, and the live stakes again take root and stabilize the eroding stream bank. And we did that again this year with most of the same students actually from, I think it was 4th and 5th graders.
Oh.
Shannon came out and joined us.
Excellent.
Lots of
That's a
fun.
fun thing.
Yes.
That's right.
It was great. So we had a lot of students put in a lot of live stakes. And we did obviously a lesson beforehand about stream bank erosion, watersheds, water quality, sediment, what live stakes are, how to install them. And they had so much fun and so did we.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I don't know how many live stakes we installed, but there were a lot.
Maybe in a competition.
Yeah, that's right, we were keeping track.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was-
And this is also a temporary measure to trying to stabilize that bank to prevent damage. But Mark Manfred does have on his capital improvement program and with Public Works, trying to get an engineer out there to look it over and see what they can do to improve that pond. It's been a problem since 1880.
Okay.
And it didn't get better when they removed the Third Street Dam. There was a period where we got a lot of sediment down there, which caused them to block up the pipes and fill in some of the basin. And they were out there constantly trying to keep the flow open. Now we have the opposite problem. We have an erosion problem at the stream banks. And this has minimized that, and it has done fairly well. And I'm very proud of the work that the Parks Department and Karen have done on that. And these live stakes, so even are proving to be amending the banks, the Christmas tree thing very well. So even if the Public Works wanted to work tomorrow, it'd probably be several years before they'd actually have it designed to be able to fix down there. So this is well worth the investment.
Exactly.
And the media is planning for that rebuilding of that bridge into pedestrian, into a changing it. So they have an engineer looking at upstream on the Broomall Lake property to redo with an engineering design to redo the way the water comes down north of the.
Oh, okay.
So that is gonna, I mean, it's at the very preliminary stages. But that's all gonna change. Because they're changing underneath them.
We tried to get some grants to help with some design of the pond. And DEP was well aware of the problems there, and since it's a constantly in flux thing that they're working on the grants for. End in sight.
And move forward, right, exactly. We'll get into it. Thank you, Karen. Okay, next up, Karen, again with the Earth Day event. Sounds like fun.
Another fun event, yeah. So the water quality basin is the same one that we had reconstructed through the low volume road grant recently. And while they did put down seed to prevent erosion of the basin, I was working with the Master Gardeners and the Master Watershed Stewards to come up with a plan to naturalize the basin with native beneficial plants. And these are going to serve a better purpose than the grasses that are coming up because their roots go deeper. They're going to provide more habitat, take up more stormwater, slow water coming through the basin. So on Earth Day, I would say we had at least 25 volunteers come out from the Master Gardeners, Master Watershed Stewards, Friends of Smedley Park, and random hikers that I recruited that evening. So we had a lot of people come out. We had our trailer there and we finished the project. We finished the planting by our completion time, which I could not believe.
Excellent, very good.
So I think we planted over 650 plugs
Whoa,
and I don't remember how many shrubs.
And the plugs are hard to see, but they have little white flags.
Yes, now these little white flags to keep the volunteers from stepping on them.
right, exactly. In their efforts to do the right thing.
They are getting plenty of water. right
Yeah,
now.
right, exactly.
So fortunately, it rained later that day, so we didn't have to worry about watering. But hopefully it blossoms and grows and does its stormwater job properly.
Excellent.
And then when the trailer was done there, Karen had it moved. We moved it to Glen Providence Park, where the Friends of Glen Providence Park did a invasive speed control, weeds control on last weekend, and also did what else were they doing there?
Plantings, just trail maintenance.
Trail
plantings.
maintenance.
Right.
That group is very active, and they're definitely an asset for the county.
This is the Glen Providence people, right?
Yes, yeah, they're great.
Very nice. Okay, back to the environmental phase. Thank you, Karen.
Yep, yeah, the Marathon, we successfully concluded for my stint here as a coordinator for the event. Weather was cooperated. We had 6 teams from 3 high schools. We're still working on trying to recruit a couple more. We have a couple leads, but it was hard to get schools out back after the pandemic. But Pencrest, Strathaven, and Sun Valley participated this year. Pencrest won first and second, and Strathaven third. I did put up a short video to sort of highlight it so everybody can take a look at it. It's on our YouTube channel. We've already gotten over 100 some views, and it's on our Facebook page as well. So with trying to promote it, and maybe some other students and teachers will look at it and try to sign up for it next year.
I only knew what a good job it does. It's a shame. I guess everybody's busy.
The other thing I'm very proud of is that the agency people, NRCS, Beth had sent out 3 people to work with us. Game Commission was there, the Fish Commission there, with the Bureau of Forestry, and Shannon and Ron Jew from DEP that operated the current event station. So the Fish Commission, they didn't have their waterways conservation officer. He just got transferred out west. But we had their education specialist, Andy Desco, come out. So we were represented by the agency people, which makes it so much more for the students to learn firsthand from the people in the field, so in the professions. So I appreciate that we've always had good support from our cooperating agencies.
Excellent. And it teaches kids that there are jobs to be had.
Yes. Mhm.
Yes, if you follow this path, you too.
Now, Ronji was trying to recruit them for internships.
Yes.
And the video, though, the camera did very well, and the microphone, so it's easy to listen to the presentations that Michelle ran it for us, the presentation part of the event, and did an excellent job.
Good. Alrighty. That's it for old business. Now on to new business. Thanks, Ed. Banking policies not followed to the letter for Envirothon. What up?
Because we have that agreement that we won't write checks for over $500 on any one check without going through board approval. These checks were written on 2 separate checks to be able to pay for Kelly's Trophies, CMN Sporting Goods, and the first place award, which is $600 to Pencrest. So rather than delaying those checks that needed to be payment, that I did write 2 checks, and I want to document that on the record so we get audited. We can look back and say that the board was aware that we do this, and we've had approved this procedure in the past on expenses that are traditional and previously known about, rather than not in any new type of expenses that we would do.
We need a motion for this. Should that, not that we can right now.
No, I can't do it. Just so it's on the record that
Okay.
the board is aware of what's happening.
You're on TV. Already. Next. Submitted a request for summer intern.
Yes, we did have really helped Charles get back, the personnel department was a recruiter last year and got us an intern very quickly. This year, we got notified a little earlier, so we put it in. The only problem we had is a minor issue that when we put in for the amount of money that I anticipated we'd need for an intern, because it was a vacant position, they cut 75% off across the board on everybody's vacant position. So we're about $400 short, but I think we can make it up. I'm just gonna work with be able to pay for it. For that intern, but hopefully it'll get approved, and hopefully there will be applicants that come in that would want to help us out this summer.
Right. And learn a lot.
Yeah, it's a very valuable thing that we benefit a lot. Put them right to work. Last year, he worked with the Karen, sort of shadowing Karen on a lot of projects, and got caught up with a lot of work going in the summer.
Excellent. It's always nice.
This
to
year we
have a
can
big
work with some of the storage issues.
Just boxes.
That's a great way to dissuade them. Profession. Stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You have to kind of break it up, right? Okay, next up is the Agricultural Conservation Assistance Program. So tell us about it, Karen.
Yeah, so I'm working with Chester County Conservation District. We have our memorandum of understanding with them about who's doing what for the program. I am working on the policies and the ranking form for our county. Just started working on that today, so I guess it's not a bad thing for this particular item that we don't have a quorum because we don't have policies to vote on.
Right.
But I should have this by next month, for the board to look at and vote on, and I think our policies are gonna be a little bit different from Chester County's one, because we're not receiving as much funding. And two, they have a full ag staff to, support their ACAP program. Next week, or this Thursday, sorry, we're having, Galen Criswell from Chester County, come here to talk to me and Ed about doing outreach to farms in the county. So identifying where they are, if we're gonna do mailings, emails, phone calls, just how to reach these farmers and see what kind of resource concerns they have on their properties and what we can help them with.
Excellent. Does seem that people need to be reminded that these things are fun. And the outreach is a great idea. Okay, next up, the Keystone 10 million trees. I don't know what the parents think about this.
Oh, well, it has been, the Keystone 10 Million Trees program has been less hectic, but just as all over the place as I was expecting. So we've had probably, I would say, at least 2,500 trees come to a district and then be distributed out. So we had 2 or 3 larger organizations come for hundreds of trees.
Mhm.
And then we also have individuals coming to pick up anywhere from 1 to like 30 trees.
Mhm.
So it's been a lot of coordinating the deliveries, the incoming deliveries, and making sure I'm here to receive them, people know where to go. And also coordinating the pickups. It would be great if people came the instant you contacted them, but there's been a lot of follow-up with the individuals specifically. So it's been kind of drawn out over the month,
Mhm.
but we've learned a lot, which is what I was expecting. And I think we're gonna have a different approach than either this coming fall or next spring. And a lot of the groups that were involved in this particular distribution feel the same way and want to get together and have a big Delaware County program,
Right.
essentially.
And how many trees were there?
We've had probably about 2,500
Oh,
Trees were.
come here and they go.
And I want to thank Karen, because she volunteered and came in on Good Friday for the first delivery on a holiday to make that happen. And a lot of trees were given out that day.
Yeah, that was when the bulk of the delivery came.
And it was, the Parks and Recreation, worked with us, Mark Van Breed and Norm Bennett, and gave us a place to store them, sort of down there behind the restroom down there, so they were out of sight and out of mind. And none of them disappeared, which was good.
Yeah.
I think so.
So that worked out great. We know where to put them.
yeah, right,
And
exactly.
we have fencing around it and there's a spigot there so we can keep them watered
Uh-huh.
for the folks that are
Oh,
dilly
that's
dallying to
perfect,
get
yeah.
here.
So,
Yeah, so that part has worked out very well. We have a good site for it. And we were able to accommodate a 53-foot semi truck.
Whoa.
So who were the bigger groups that gave?
Upper Darby. Specifically the tree tenders group.
Mhm.
They have a nursery in their township, and I believe that they had a sign up for residents to do tree plantings on their property. So Upper Darby took these Keystone 10 million trees and then gave them out throughout the township.
Mhm.
Same with Haverford Township. They were having an Earth Day tree giveaway event. And then Upper Providence EAC. Originally, they planned to have their trees delivered directly to someone's house, but when they found out it was coming on a very big truck, they asked us if we could accommodate that. So we did, and I think they give to Ridley Creek State Park. I think they've done plantings there. And at various parks throughout their township.
We asked you for trees and and
And
I don't know
you
whether.
got them.
What?
Gretchen got them.
Oh, did she come and get them?
Yes,
Oh, she said the other day that she had not been able to come and get them.
she hasn't gotten the tubes and the stakes.
Oh,
She has yet to pick those up if she still wants them, but she did come for the trees. I think she got.
so that all of a sudden our township didn't want them. Oh, fascinating. So now,
Do you have 75 trees that you don't know what to do with?
so we're trying to find some place that can accommodate these trees.
Okay.
We'll just give them out bunches. And, we're looking for, you know, churches or places that could use and have enough land to do it, but it was amazing that we were told that we can't, we're all planned to, you know, we're all planned out. We don't have any time or space or place. What?
Yes, if you need somewhere to put them, you can bring them back. We'll put them up for a little
I'm
while.
telling you, Gretchen and I are obsessing over this. What are we gonna do if we can't? But I think there are a few places that I think may be able to take them. Certainly the churches that have large areas around them, they would probably take them all around the edges and.
Okay.
So we're gonna. We're thinking cap. Find a place, but if not, I'll be in touch with you.
Okay, sounds good.
And I'm so flabbergasted that the township wouldn't take them.
Where are they now? They're here.
Probably at rate at Gretchen's, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Gretchen took them and left.
So we were dumbstruck.
Interesting. I don't think that's the first time something like that has happened.
Yeah, true, right. And I was very disappointed. I thought that they would because there's a need. Yes, it may.
Or they plan for parks around her.
Well, we wanted to use them in riparian areas and they said they had their own plan. They didn't have time, and they didn't have people to do the job.
Remember with this program, Delaware County didn't get to take our top choice in species of trees, right? Or
Correct, yeah, so all of the orders there's a few orders that came in where the people who ordered them were able to get their full selection and the full quantity and species, but that was for the people that ordered like 2 trees. Where there's a couple of, I know, for example, there was one where they ordered, I think 75 trees and they ended up only getting 38. And there was another with the very big order that we got, I was contacted the day before saying that they didn't have a certain species, what would you like to substitute that with? So species and quantity are flexible in our region.
Yeah, of course. Alrighty, next up is the report from Deb. Is that still available? A little symbol.
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
I'm here. So I just wanted to report that we're working on finishing up not finishing up, but we're in the middle of contracting our equip funds for the year. And I think the last meeting I said we had 1 application. We actually have 2 applications in Delaware County, and they're not where I thought they were. They're in a more urban area. It's lands down, I think. So so we have 2 projects that we're looking at potentially funding, that are more urban gardens. And that's,
It was in Lansdowne? Okay.
yes.
They have a good reputation for taking care of things.
Yeah, and so that's all I have to report. I mean, like I said, I always say we're here. If anybody needs technical assistance or financial assistance, just let us know.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Mhm.
Righty. Next we have Janice.
Hello, just a couple things I want to point out on the talking points that are in the packet. The Growing Greener Plus grant is now open, and there's information finally on our website. So that's grant guidance documents, any type of resource that you may have. And also I wanted to mention that on Clean Water Academy, there is also, some courses to guide applicants. And same with the section 319 non-point source management program grant, which is also open, and same with that, there's information on our website and also courses on Clean Water Academy. And I just want to point out that both of these grants close on Friday, June 23rd. So just keep that in mind.
Is the, like, staff contact for Growing Greener grants?
The staff contact.
Yeah, you,
What?
what?
Thanks, Karen. Is that for the southeast or is that? Yes. Okay. Write that down. And I can get you that information too if you need that. There is chapter 102 basic technical training on May 23rd through 26th at the Red Line Hotel, Harrisburg Hershey. This is good for any new chapter 102 staff or anyone that just wants a refresher. And then also on page 2, their practice keeper enhancements are coming in May. And that's really all I have on that. Who does practice keeper here? You, okay, that's for you.
Okay.
And then on page 3, there's an agriculture compliance section that is conducting a poll to gain insight on the implementation of agriculture compliance across the state. And this poll will be distributed sometime in May, so look out for that. There's a new webinar on ACAP on Wednesday, May 10th. I've been going to a couple of logging into a couple of those, and I've been finding those helpful. So just to keep that in mind. And then also on the talking points on page 4, there's some ACAP current issues that are mentioned and ACAP quick points that are mentioned. So if you just want to take a look at that. And then, as always, there's spring nutrient management certification training dates. There's a lot in May and a couple in June. And the vendor data management unit webinar that was on last month, April 13th, that is now posted on Clean Water Academy, if anyone wants to check that out. And then on page 5, there's dates to remember. And you can always go on pacd.org for more information on that. That's all I have, if anyone has any questions. Yeah, there's a lot this month, yeah.
Exactly. It's that time of year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody looks outside and says, oh, my. All right, thank you. Shannon.
Yeah.
All right, Ed, your report.
Okay, you can see the report I have in front of you there. One of the things that I didn't make the report, but it has to do with my transitioning process, is I got a meeting set up with Jim Hackett, our county treasurer. We have over 5 bank accounts now that we've seen the balances. And I just wanted to go over the banking process to make sure that take his expertise on how we invested, and it's all in money markets right now, but whether or not we should be involved in some certificates of deposits because the rates are coming up a little bit. I want to make sure that we have our accounts assured for above the FDIC through the bank, through they purchase bonds that cover up to $2 million on our accounts to pay us back if they should collapse. But their interest rates are very low. So just to make sure, just to go over the processes and see if he can give us any advice on make sure that we are doing the best we can with that type of stuff. or management of funds. So that is good. The coordination for the marathon took a bit of time, to get it up and running and encourage people to come out. T-shirts were developed and awards were developed. The awards had a little problem where they put, instead of 31st, they put 31st. So
Well, and everybody says that.
yeah, so yeah, I've had them make little plaques, and they were Kelly's Trophies was very good at admitting the mistake they made and fixed it. They would have reprinted them on new plaques, but that wouldn't have been ready in time for the event. So I think it went well with the way we did it. Also involved with the treasurer's office and the recorder of deeds, and also economic development. We're meeting quarterly, call over Delco real estate meetings, and It's interesting because I'm getting a different perspective than I'm getting to the sustainability. The goal of this committee is trying to increase revenue, and there was some discussion about 319 and 515. That a lot of the properties aren't being monitored at all, and because they don't know whether they're following the terms of the agreement that gives them a 30% tax deduction. So they're going to be looking at that in the future, and they were going to work with our legislators possibly about changing 319 and 515. I wasn't quite in favor of that because I prefer 319 and 515 basically keeps, even if they're rich people, it keeps them from needing to sell off their property just to pay the taxes on it. So it gives them a little bit of a deduction for keeping their land open, and open space is something that is in our sustainability plan we're trying to work. So we got to learn how to cooperate a little bit on that, maybe have some discussions between sustainability and the real estate to make sure that we're in a good balance of our goals and objectives there. So it's been good to get on it. The other thing it helped me with is they provided me with a list of 515 and 319, and I hope to go through those parcels and do some aerial searches of those easements and find out where some farming operations are, so we can do a mailing to them about the availability of these $300, $300,000 in funding available for BMP installation. So that's been very advantageous to be part of
How
that.
many were there? We're on that list.
I don't know exactly how many they're on the list. The list is sort of a hodgepodge of 515 and 319. So that I did not do a count, but we have it.
And I'd like to sort of take a look at what you're seeing on the map. So I keep an inventory on the 515, and then planning department administrates that. But
Yeah, most of the 515, I think, are golf courses and things now,
yeah, there are quite a few of those.
right? As opposed to forest reserve and open farm reserve.
Yeah.
But the problem that they were having is that some people were doing other things on their property and not following the terms of the thing. So there are violations out there. They were concerned about what was happening in Radnor with the Rawson Farm, and places they're looking at, but I don't know any details on that, but it was an interesting discussion, learning from the what they're looking at. And I agree, when I did some aerial photos on some sites, I've seen a couple of sites where there's earth moving activities occurring on some of these 515. Yeah, fill activities and things, so not 319, not 515, but so there are areas that you could probably do with aerial survey. You could probably do it. So,
Good idea.
yeah,
Sorry, that don't.
thank you very much. Thank you.
319 is administered by the Board of Assessments Office.
Right.
Joan Van Delst. Yeah, it's probably, sounds like a worthwhile
Right.
activity that you're doing the air photo interpretation on it.
Right, to be able to look through and find out which ones are farming, because there are activities where, I mean, even Mr. Fred Wood had some property out on Balboa Road where he had horses, and we've never worked with him, so there are activities out there that we're not aware of, and there are other products, and so it'd be, we need to do a list. Now, we've never kept a list for very selfish reasons, because if we have a list, we have to give it to right to know request, and
Yeah.
and a lot of companies take advantage of the right to know and exploit the people that are on our list. So we don't give them, we don't have a list, so we can't give it to them.
Because these are open parcels that are 10 acres or more. You know, where should we look to develop?
Right. This is a great idea. Certainly good for everyone.
And I did a budget analysis for the Chief Sustainability Officer through Sue DePompio, and submitted that as and our budget seems to be the budget that we have through the county operating budget is well within, we're not exceeding any of our expenses at this time, and our revenue is above average, so we're in good shape.
What's the sustainability plan for Chester? That's interesting.
There's lots of that, and that was disappointing because I attended the sustainability open public meeting in Chester to see, and there even the politicians didn't come out to that. So there was a few people who came out, but not as many as I would vote.
That's the countywide sustainability plan
Right.
outreach meeting that was held in Chester.
The big, just in
There was very few attendants, all of them, then media and Upper Darby were the other two, and they had a virtual session as well. So, but I think there was, if you take away all the people running the different stations, it's probably, I would think in the city of Chester, there may have been 10 people. On that.
because I just went through Chester. 3 days worth of trip. Sustainability necessary. So anything else there? That looks great. I'm seeing your erosion plans, et cetera, fine.
No, we do have a priority project in here that is given priority by the regional office, and that's the Philadelphia Union FSFS Bank Sportsplex. They want to build some more soccer fields down in the city of Chester. And I guess it's, what do they call it? The soccer tournament. They have a big soccer tournament. They're trying to get it prepared for a few years. Big soccer fans. I don't know. World Cup, I think it's called.
Biggest one, yeah.
So they are going to be putting in. They have 2 practice fields in addition to the stadium field. They're going to change that to 3, 6 fields, 7 fields. And they're also putting in an indoor hotel type thing as well, but that's not in our erosion control plan at the point. That's phase 2. Don't know what happened to the townhouses and restaurant and
Complex there, right?
yeah, well, that soccer
Different
stadium.
proposals. I still have a folder in my office from like 2000.
Yeah.
The first, they had a marina.
Yeah, right.
Rivertown.
Hey, grand plans.
And a later one did, hotels between stadium and Rivertown.
Yeah, the other thing is they're adding all these things and not adding parking, so I think the parking is, I drove by an event that they were having a nighttime soccer event, same night as the Chester, sustainability, and it was, parking everywhere. They were just, directing you into their parking lots all throughout the resident, there's vacant lots that have developed today. People are making quite a bit of money, $20 a parking stuff.
Exactly.
That's what's being done there.
But somebody's gonna want to develop it or something,
I don't know if they can get money more than that parking if they have a lot of events at the soccer stadium. It's a lucrative thing that might not be available otherwise.
So we build trails down to the waterfront, so you can just ride your bike down.
Right, exactly. That's something.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So. That's a shame.
It's cheaper than parking. Than
Exactly. Almost everything's cheaper than parking. This is interesting. So this whole, growth of the Philadelphia Union area, I guess that is more popular than I've heard of this.
Yeah, I've never had to design. The only time I've been to the soccer stand is the last sustainability conference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the next one is June 8th. I don't know if it's before or next.
And that's it. Why?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's gonna be still in Chester, but a different place in Chester.
Right.
It's going to be 4 times as big if the estimates are right. They're trying to get 400 people out rather than 100.
Oh, wow. There's a lot to talk about there. Ready, is that it for you, Ed?
Yes.
Okay. Next up, Michelle, not Ed.
So permitting, it doesn't look too busy on paper, so not a lot of actions taken, but just a lot of back and forth with people resubmitting and then us going back and forth on their application. But just one meeting I wanted to highlight is that we had the administrative conference for the Ponds Edge project located in Middletown Township. That was held last Wednesday. So right now, that's in DEP's hands as far as getting a penalty settled with them. And then just one other meeting, Ed and I met with the other Southeast Regional districts just to start planning another
guess, engineers workshop possibly, for maybe the fall time. So, that's in its early planning stages, so. And that's all I have to highlight. Any questions?
What's the complaint in Derby?
Oh, so that is, right between the address is Main Street, but it actually backs up to, or right between Main Street and McDade Boulevard. So it's about, I think, a 1 acre property. The tax parcel map doesn't necessarily say, but, Ed had received some photos and a phone call regarding some demolition work, which extended into some excavation work as well. And I did speak with the people on the site. I did get a follow-up, but no one was really sure or willing to say who they were working for. But the confusing part is that the property on the tax parcel map is still William Penn School District's name. But we know it's not them performing the work. So I got some information from the borough, based on their permit applications of who applied. And I sent the report out last week because I had to go through the mail since we didn't have a phone number, email contact. And I haven't heard anything, but I plan on following up this Friday, since I will be in the area for another meeting. But the township sent me, I think it is proposed maybe like a self-service station. But 1 acre.
A gas station.
Yeah.
So our creek.
No, there doesn't border the creek and on any of the sides. It's between the SEPTA transit station and there's like a McDonald's and then like a Meineke, like a produce junction. So it borders the Meineke and the SEPTA station on either side, and then Main Street and then McDade on the other two sides.
But it wasn't just a demolition, it was a small building there that they had. That was where their bus parking was for the William Penn School District. So where they moved to, I guess that other facility.
I think we had another facility permit for them. So there was a trailer there and it was just a parking lot. So they took the trailer down and ripped up part of the asphalt. When I was there, I'm sure more work has been done since.
They must have imported fill too. They imported fill with the same, so I don't even know. I think there was no erosion.
And we've had some other issues, like they're going on other properties that aren't theirs.
It's pretty tight area.
Yeah, there's a historic building next door as well.
And the complaint was very vigilant.
Yeah, had a lot of information to
Oh.
give us and follow up. So.
It's good they somebody's paying attention.
Yes.
Oh, yes, yeah, there's a few, yep.
Michelle, nothing else?
Nope, that's all I have.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next. Reed is not here. Here is the.
Oh, yeah, back to nurses.
We'll let him. We'll let him know. Yeah. We had a lot of things done, I think. Certainly it's getting more busy, isn't it? This is good. Now we see Carmen's, which is also more populated. Yes.
Yeah, we're pretty much caught up on all the applications that came in. There's maybe like 1 or 2 guys that have just been working on that. There's several pre-construction meetings. Everybody's ready to go back out.
Right.
Doing that, that's it.
Excellent. It's good to be busy. I think we're busy learning, but you know.
The trouble is when the 3 people in the ENS program, when they get done with their administrative permit, they dump them on me. So
Oh, no.
this is not working well. 3 against 1.
Adjusted. Yeah, adjusted. Thanks. Alrighty. Karen.
So besides all the things that I talked about earlier, I did want to mention that we, after our last board meeting, when we changed the low volume road, grant application deadlines. We announced that to municipalities. No, Ed got a call, from a municipality expressing interest, and then I also got an email from, I think Ridley Park Borough, who are interested in applying, but unfortunately they are not certified, through the training. So I'm gonna have to do some more outreach and get people interested in applying this round, because we're required to spend a certain amount of, funds by June of next year. And that was kind of our whole intention of having the grant deadline, this June. So hopefully I get more people contacting me with projects, but if not, do some more outreach. And I did just contact the State Conservation Commission and the Center for Dirt and Gravel Roads to see if they'd be willing to do another one-day training for us. They mentioned that they would be willing to do that during their QAQC review 2 or 3 months ago. So they did say that they would do that, so we just gotta get the ball rolling,
Right.
get more people certified, so we
So
can.
they're really park out there and get them trained.
Yes, yeah, that would be great. So outside, in addition, under the low volume road, program, Concord Township, I did get a call from them that they're no longer able to complete their project for various reasons. So they are still interested in applying for funds, so they do have another project site in mind that I had been to before, we just couldn't identify how to solve the problems they were having. So I think we'll be able to come up with something for that site, and they'll probably be an applicant in the June round, which is good.
Excellent.
Let's see. Obviously spent a lot of time on the 10 million trees and coordinating that. I'm still, working on monitoring the vernal ponds. There's one in Sedley Park and one near Chichester High School, that we're looking at with the master watershed stewards, and we're just monitoring the changes that it goes throughout the year.
Excellent.
Any animals that we see in there and plants and things like that. And then after monitoring, we can explore restoration projects potentially. We coordinated a couple trailer reservations. I have found this spring has been Delaware County and Chester County heavy. So I'd love to see some more reservations from Montgomery County and Bucks County, because it is available to them for free. So I'll do some more outreach, to them, and that would make it easier on our drivers who are coming from Quakertown too. So. I also signed up for a training, it's the North American Invasive Species Management Association, Foundations of Invasive Species Management course. I don't know how many hours it is, but it's several modules, so it's probably gonna take me a couple of days to complete, but it's on my own time. And that is all that I wanted to highlight in my staff report.
And are we having any, I mean, is it too early to expect anything with these spotted lanterns fly yet, or any other?
I don't think they've started emerging just
I
yet.
think, that's what I was wondering, it is a little chill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they'll wait
even
till
the
it gets
things.
warmer. They're smart.
Yeah.
But there was funding available, but it's more geared towards the counties that are new to the quarantine, and it's for educating businesses about the quarantine. So
Is there an assessment of the negative effect they've had every year?
No.
No?
No.
Are they still really a
it's
problem?
going off of the amount of requests we get and complaints and things, and we haven't. In the past 2 years, I think we really haven't gotten
Really?
any calls. It seems like they've.
Moved on.
Yes.
That's because we did such a great job with the
That's
component.
exactly.
We did do quite a few parks,
Right.
with the money that went $46,000
That was
that we had
great,
available.
right.
And then the federal people, also did quite a bit down by the airport and stuff, so we did hit them pretty hard. Got rid of a lot of the, tree of heaven, and, some of them are gonna come back, we didn't take out the,
And they'll sprout,
big seed trees, yeah.
sprout from something that's big, but
Right.
I do think that the decrease, and this is just my own observations and from what I've heard from other people, but I haven't when we were doing that, those treatments, I could see a tree of heaven from a mile away. And I still, after doing that, I don't see many living trees of heaven.
No, I don't either.
They think they depleted their.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So it's somehow or another you put stunted their expansion.
Right, that's what
I think that's a good thing. Take credit for it. That it for you?
Yes.
Every day I go by that thing and I don't know which one of you is doing it, the Eagle and Radnor Street Road subdivision. It is just amazing to me.
Yeah.
It's big and it's right out there. And they have the audacity to call it North Wayne. They call the development North Wayne and it's glommed onto the end North Wayne and everybody in North Wayne hates it. Insane. And it's really, they cleared, obviously totally cleared the land.
That land was owned by one of the column.
Right, the Valley Forge military.
Oh, was it? I thought it was.
Yeah, they were hard pressed for funds and I noticed that they redid their, athletic facility, so I guess they used the money for something there. But it's just amazing. It's gonna have a big impact because of the traffic wise. Those two little streets are not trafficked.
Yeah, I think they're putting 18 homes.
Yes, yeah. So that's a fair number. Yeah. So we'll see, but I think about it every time it goes. Because they're always moving like tons of earth. And it's like every time I go by, it looks like it's shaped differently. So thanks for doing it. Okay, now, let's see, I will guess I will entertain a motion to, that would matter. All right, thank you. And I will see you hopefully more of us here on the 6th of June.
It's the first time we have had a flood in several years, so.
Wow.
So,
Right, exactly.
I think the virtual meeting helped, but.